Hey there, everybody. I'm CCP Dolan, back here now with CCP Fozzie, bringing you the 17th match of today, a Noir Mercenary group versus Shadow Cartel. We have there an iconic classic of EVE Online.
Yes.
Not so much of the tournament.
The Badger, there's been some famous uses of the Badger in the tournament. This is a Badger Mark II, which is actually famously getting renamed later on in a couple months here. But we've got some very interesting teams here from Noir and Shadow Cartel. Shadow Cartel has brought what looks like long-range kiting battleships, 2 Ravens, a Dominix, Vulture, Basilisk, 2 Harpies, the 3 Merlins, a Crow, and the Badger Mark II, which is probably going to be used for its mid slots for remote sensor boosting, remote sensor damping.
Noir coming with the quadruple battleship team.
Yeah. Lots of drones, but honestly, I don't think it's going to be very good against this setup, and it only has 9 players, which is really never a good idea.
Yeah. I can't see these Vengeance lasting very long in any sort of support battle, even against a Badger Mark II.
Yeah, well, they are going to have reps from the Anira, so they're going to have a pretty big tank. But the problem is, it's going to be really hard to get these Armageddons on top of the much faster Ravens. So we're going to have to see what these Ravens do once they get moving. They're going to be cruise missile fit, and they'll be able to hit at very long ranges.
Well, of course. Cruises, as we've said before.
They're not moving, though. Not even a little bit.
Oh, they've got
a cap transfer.
Cap transfer rolling.
So we're seeing cap transfers between the Vulture here and the Basilisk and the Dommies. So they're going to try to do some crazy cap transfer movement, but one of their Ravens is being left behind. It's not moving with the rest of their group. It looks like oh, there he goes, started firing. It looks like he was AFK for a moment there. But Paquito in the Shadow Cartel Raven has now started firing and put out his drone. So it looks like he went out to get like a burrito, came back, and now it's fine.
Just picking up a burrito, no big deal. Gotta get lunch. We just had lunch here. It's quite good.
And that Celeste is taking a lot of damage.
Celeste is taking a lot of damage. Like, I feel like the Tinker Tank is weak when you lose a support war and just your Tinker Tank team can't kill big things in the other team. But luckily, you've pretty much auto-won the support war here because there's not really any support for Noir Mercenary Group. There's just 4 battleships.
Paquito is still moving towards the enemies instead of with the rest of his team, which is very odd. I'm not sure if he's just not required for their Tinker Tank, but I don't know why they aren't putting, like, he's just slow boating forward towards the middle of the arena, right? He's just passing by. You see, passing right past each other in the night.
Yeah, that's just how.
Ignoring each other.
He's obviously
waving as they go by.
The hero Raven, but they're not even shooting him as he wanders by.
He's just out exploring the arena.
They're just waving out the window like, hey, man, just passing through.
They do have newts now applied to the Dominix of Tank Mug, so they're going to be getting, and the Vulture. So these newts actually are going to be very effective against the Tinker Tank team. One of the new rules that's new for this Alliance tournament compared to old Alliance tournaments of the New Eden Open or the Singing Competitive League is that we only allow 1 energy transfer per ship. So all of these ships have energy transfers to help keep themselves alive. The idea of this Tinker setup is all of your ships stay close together. You provide cap to a logistics ship or a Tech 3 repper, and he reps your teams very strongly. We've nerfed that a little bit by restricting you to only 1 cap transfer per ship, and all these newts is going to be a big problem now.
To be fair, like the newts are rarely effective, but if their Geddons start dying, as Killa 542 is actually just dropping
significantly less effective when you're dead.
Actually, most modules in the game are not very effective when you're dead. But they actually need to push him down before he starts getting a bunch of reps here.
Paquito, by the way, has turned around and is now casually walking back to his group.
Well, come on, he just went for a stroll.
Yeah.
Killa dropping into structure.
He's not going to last much longer.
Losing one of your 4 battleships is not a great thing.
No, not good at all. And the Aniros is taking some damage too. These cruise missiles can hit pretty much all the way across the arena, and with the target painter on that Aniros, he's actually going to get hit pretty hard by it.
I'm interested to see what sort of these are shield tank Dominixes. So tank bugs Dominix in between reps, he's taking bites out of his armor.
Yeah, now the Merlins for Shadow Cartel are what is tackling that Aniros and causing him to take more damage because they can't go very fast. The last Merlin, though, is dropping pretty quickly, so if he goes down, that Aniros can probably reduce the incoming damage.
If they get one more round of shots down on this Aniros, it's gonna drop.
Oh,
look at the strength of that large armor rep. Wow. Large ancillary armor rep almost certainly there on that Oniros.
I don't think he'd be able to fit that. I don't know what he's...
Well, he's boosting like half of his armor with 1 boost.
Could be a double medium.
Yeah, double medium potentially.
Yeah, he's holding out okay now. And now he doesn't have any of the Merlins on him. Still has a Crow, though. And that's going to be a problem. Or Harpy now. Harpy on top of him. Yeah, I don't think he's... Oh, man, he's tanking really well.
Yeah,
if Tank Mug goes down before the Aniros does, then Noir might be able to pull this back. It definitely... I would bet on Shadow Cartel at this point, though.
Yeah, well, Tank Mug's dropping, taking some structure damage.
Oh, they go down about the same time, it looks
Yeah,
like.
Oneros drops. And
Dominic's about to follow in structure.
potential boosts coming in, though.
Shield tanked. Oh.
Nope, he drops. Oh,
There he
there
goes.
we go.
Okay. So now we've got Dominic's and 4 of the frigates down for Shadow Cartel.
But
Armageddon and Neros down for Noir.
there is still so much damage left on the field in those 2 Ravens. Look how fast that Geddon's falling without any reps.
Yeah.
I almost think that Oneros was like semi-bait tanked. Like
He
his
did have a
tank
really
was
big
such
tank,
was
yeah.
so insane. Like you saw that he was just bouncing to half armor every rep cycle.
Yeah.
But like
We'll be able to take a look at when people post the kill mills up online afterwards. But yeah, this without him, these Geddons are going down really fast.
yeah, so Geddon dropping for Elena Moore and Stahl. And it looks-
Garfield and the Harpy as well going down. But yes, if this Geddon goes down, that's a lot of the DPS gone for Noir.
the big mistake here, obviously, not killing the Badger Mark II as the Geddon goes down.
The absolutely dominant Badger Mark II.
Yeah.
Really, really strong.
To be fair,
He'll be doing his job.
I think he's doing the
One of the
painting
other
for
reasons
the
you would
team,
have
part of the painting for the team.
One of the reasons you'd have a Badger actually could be painting. Yep, definitely. He is probably also remote ECCMing because ECM is a
Yeah.
problem for Tinker teams. But the other thing is that he's probably carrying a bunch of cap charges.
Cap charges, man.
And I'm betting that all of these guys are cap injected to keep those cap transfers alive for the Logi.
Yep.
For long
Cap
fights.
injected, potentially ASBs that they need to refuel. When you're running that many cap battery fuel modules, like
Yeah, it's
You're-
really, really handy for these long fights. If you feel like the fight might stretch out really long, like this one is probably not going to go all the way to time, but it's definitely going to take a good chunk of the match. If we do ever go to a tie where the teams are tied in points, which can sometimes happen, especially if you have Tinker Team versus Tinker Team, then we actually have a new rule in place this year, never been done before, where once the match goes to time, if the teams are tied on points, we start speeding up the time of the universe.
Yep.
So that the match ends faster.
Not in the rest of EVE Online, you'll be thankful to know.
Yes, just in this system.
Just in this one system.
We actually do reverse tie-dye. So the same thing you see, time dilation is a feature that we put in for fleet fights so that the server can react more appropriately, just slower when there's a lot of load. We actually do the opposite in the case of a tiebreaker and speed up the match, and so you actually see like yakety sack, super fast people running all over the place. It's
We see
great.
the final Geddon Chigger Trout Slayer dropping for Noir Mercenary Group. Noir has been in quite a few tournaments.
Never been very impressive though. I
They-
mean, they've underperformed, I think.
They
pretty
don't really
consistently.
get deep in the tournament.
No, not
They-
generally.
But
They're up against Shadow Cartel though here.
They're
Like,
up
this
against
is not
Shadow
an easy
Cartel.
draw. Shadow Cartel did very well last year. They were a big fan favorite last year from a lot of heavy DPS setups, a really big hero Tengu bump that saved a Proteus, or maybe it was a Sleipnir. Anyways, they saved one of their teammates, and they've flown really well last year. So it's good to see them once again performing quite well.
And it's interesting to note, like, they will have at least one more match of the tournament.
Yes.
They, losing this match, drop down to the elimination bracket. One more loss will have
But
them
you know who they're
eliminated
going to
from
be
the
up against?
Who?
The loser of Hun Darkside.
That's
Good
that's
luck.
an interesting match. They'll have some fun with that.
I-
Dominic's of Alexi of card dropping, team captain for Noir Mercenary Group, and former member of the Council of Stellar Management. As we just get into the mode of wrapping up the Vengeances and Celestis left on the field.
Yep, so this is just past the halfway point of the matches for today. On both today and tomorrow, we're going to be having every single one of our teams competing. Today, every single team is on even ground. They compete one-on-one, and then they move off into our undefeated bracket, into our elimination bracket. By the end of tomorrow, 16 teams will be eliminated. So none of these teams today are gone at the end of the day, but by the end of tomorrow, a full quarter of our teams will be eliminated from the tournament. So those are going to be the teams that have their backs up against the wall.
And then next weekend, we'll go into full swing of the Alliance Tournament as you're used to. It won't just be us sitting in a small dark hovel inside CCP's Volcano Lair. It will be both the Volcano Lair studio and the actual lovely studio that you're all used to seeing where we get to talk with CCP Soundwave. But all the wonderful
We'll also
things.
have our player commentators.
Yes, our player commentators. You may see the Rote Capel ad airing between matches
Yep.
here. That ad is currently a lie.
Currently a lie. There will be 2 Rote Capel and members here commentating with us. We're really looking forward to talking with them. It's notable that as impressive as 2 people in Iceland is commentating, they're actually not the alliance with the most commentators this year. That would be CCP Alliance with 5 commentators. No one has ever come close to that. We obviously are the best alliance.
Well, yes.
I mean,
we should just start war decking alliances.
yeah, we really should. We should just war deck all the alliances.
Yeah.
And,
You won't take us in a fight. I'm almost guaranteeing it.
So we just seen the cleanup now, a lot of damage being applied, or going to be applied now to that Vengeance. The Celestis is quite a ways away. So it's just a matter of actually catching them. The time is going to be running out very soon. We have only 45 seconds left. And this is going to be in Shadow Cartel. Both of these guys have a pretty rough round tomorrow. Shadow Cartel is going to be going against the winner of our next match, which is Hun Reloaded and Darkside. And then Noir Mercenary Group is in even worse shape, having to go up against the loser of that group, but up against for elimination. So Shadow Cartel, if they lose to their competitor tomorrow, they'll still be okay. But Noir is going to have their backs right up against the wall.
Yep.
They're going to have to bring out their best stuff. They're not going to be able to hold anything back.
There is no really group or bracket of death this year. All the brackets and all the groups are incredibly strong.
Yes.
But we have coming up next one of probably the best matches of today, if not a potential for what the finals of the tournament might be.
Yeah, up there with probably Verge Outbreak for the most competitive match of the day. Darkside has been extremely good in the past 2 tournaments, and then Hun Reloaded has won the tournament once in AT4, came in second last year. Really, really strong team. So the time is now up. We're going to pass you back to our GTCam for just a moment, and we'll set up our next match, which is the very anticipated Hun Reloaded versus Darkside.